Stupid old buzzard, you!
Mr. Troll? Whoa! Gert! The insect's dead! Just look at all that blood.
Blood? Where? Oh, send for a doctor. Get an ambulance.
Oh, Mr. Toon, you poor man. You badly hurt.
Fairly badly, Miss Timpkins, but I'll manage.
Oh.
Shan't be a moment, Jackie, baby. You want me to look with it, don't you, eh? Oh, you sexy beast. Oh, I like a little bit better than a lot. Better than a lot of it. I like a little bit of it.
Oh, will you be late tonight, Mr. Fox, as usual?
Shouldn't be at all surprised, Mrs. S. Going to an orgy in Golders Green. Don't wait up.
I've no intention of doing so. Kindly do not forget to bolt the door. And I'll thank you not to make as much noise as you did last night.
Oh, yes. Well, I won't bring her in tonight. I'll deal with her outside.
And, Mr. Fox, I haven't had last week's rent yet.
Yes, well, things are a bit dicky in the car trade at the moment. But not to worry, Mrs. S. Come on, give us a quick kiss.
Come on, Freddie.
My sister. Why didn't you turn that game in?
I refuse to be driven off the road by you motorists.
Buy yourself a decent car. Get yourself a girl. This one's for sale. Possibly a bit on the fast side, but she's on very modern lines. Smashing upholstery. She's a real bargain.
What a suggestion.
Other sales points include an ample rear boot, loose covers, and automatic clutch, leaving plenty of room for fancy knee work.
Dirty beast.
Oh, you poor thing. You've hurt your leg.
Oh, aye.
Who was that?
Oh, that's our fellow lodger. Works for the town council. Fancy a ride on his handlebars?
No, thanks. He can ring his own bell.
Oh.
You know, Jackie, you're one of the loveliest girls I've ever met. I don't know why it is, but I've always been mad about redheads.
And you mean to say he didn't even stop?
He did not. For all he cared, I might have been splattered all over the road.
Oh, you poor thing. Anyway, it's not bleeding.
What? Just so.
Oh, then we must put some iodine on it. I hope you're not going to let him get away with it.
Oh, certainly not. I'll trace him through his number. I don't work in the council offices for nothing.
And then you'll make him buy you a new bicycle.
Aye, and a new plastic picnic pack.
Over! Now what's wanted? Don't let it happen again.
Ferncliff. Where is the blasted place?
Don't you bloody cyclists ever give hand signals? We're learning to drive. Oh, no. Bulmer! Lose it, Bulmer! Is it your contraption?
Aye, it was.
Look at the hole you've made in my lawn.
Oh, look what you've done to my roadster. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the second time you've buckled one of my wheels.
I have never set eyes on you in my life before.
Oh. This house is called Ferncliff,
It is
and your name is Chingford?
Commander Chingford.
Quite. And I'd be right in assuming that you are the owner of car 200 DYO?
What is all this about?
I happen to be the cyclist you tried to murder last Sunday afternoon.
I don't know what you're moaning about, but since I see only the backsides of cyclists when I'm driving, I can hardly be expected to recognize their faces.
I've got 22 witnesses, and unless you're prepared to settle this account, I intend to summons you for contravening the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Acts of 1930 and 1934.
Don't you quote the Road Traffic Act at me. I remember the incident perfectly. You deliberately obstructed me.
Oh, that's not what my 22 witnesses will say.
I have no intention of affording your fellow pedal pushers the pleasure of committing perjury at my expense. This is blackmail. I shall consult my lawyers. Follow me.
Good for you. The old man's always bossing people around.
But I don't like the sound of those lawyers.
Don't you worry. They'll make him pay up. They always do. I'm Claire Chingford. Come and have a drink.
Well, I wouldn't say no in a hot day like this, Miss Chingford. My name's Troon. Murdoch Troon.
Are you Scotch?
Scottish, yes.
Do you have a kilt?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do.
And do you ever wear it?
Well, not much down here among the Sassenachs, except on extra special occasions, of course.
Tell me, do you wear anything underneath?
I most certainly do.
Come on.
Not there, not on my prize, Sam McCready. Blithering idiot. No, of course I wasn't talking to you. Don't be a fool.
Help yourself.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, here it comes. Down Sucky Hall Street. Or whatever you say on these occasions. My, that's an awful powerful fruit cup, isn't it?
Well, hardly a fruit cup. It's a mixture of vodka and curacao, usually taken in smaller glasses. But, of course, you being a Scot.
Ah, Miss Chingford, a right good Willie walked never did a Scot any harm.
Willie who?
Willie walked. And here's a hand, my trusty fear, and gie's a hand to thine, and we'll tak a ricked Willie walk for all lang syne. We twa, herin about the braes, and pooed the gowans fine, but we've wandered many a weary fit, sin auld lang syne. Miss Chingford, may I replenish your glass?
To save trouble, and as your account comes to £4.17 and sixpence, here's a fiver. And kindly stop quoting Burns to my daughter.
And what about the front wheel that got broken this afternoon?
As you haven't 22 witnesses, you won't be able to blackmail me into paying for that. And now get off my property.
Murdoch can't go yet. He hasn't finished his willy wart.
Do you think we'd better?
Go on.
Sure, it'll be
Go
all
on.
right.
Don't worry. Doonsucker Hall Street?
And surely you'll be your pint stoop, and surely I'll be mine. We'll tak a cup of kindness yet, for all lang syne. Goodbye, Miss Chingford. It's been a rare privilege and a great pleasure knowing you.
Clumsy oaf. Now look what he's done.
Murdoch, are you all right?
Perfectly all right. Thank you, Miss Chingford.
Oh. Oh, we can't let him go like that. He's hurt himself.
Good.
Murdoch, how far have you to go?
Only 6 miles.
Oh, leave that thing here. I'll give you a lift.
Oh, no, it's not necessary. Besides, what would your father say?
Oh, who cares? You can collect your penny farthing any time. Come on, get in.
Well, all right. I'm sorry, Miss Chingford. Those Willie walks must have been stronger than I thought.
You must take my advice next time.
I will. Next time?
What do you do about your girlfriends?
Well, frankly, I haven't got one at the moment.
I'm not surprised. Surely a chap like you should have a car.
I have sometimes thought that the assistant to the town clerk should have a wee saloon like this, you know.
Why not a sports car? You like fresh air?
Do you like sports cars, then?
Oh, I'm mad about them. The great dictator won't let me have one. And I like the men who drive them.
Do you?
Yes. I do, you silly old Willie Walt.
Where are you going? I'd like that on my bike.
Thank you very much, Miss Chingford. What are you getting now?
Oh, I'd love to go for a ride in it. Where's the handle?
I'm really very much obliged.
That's all right. Whose is this?
Oh, Freddie Fox's, I expect. He's in the car business. He brings a different car home every night.
Oh, marvellous. Absolutely fabulous. Red label Bentley, late 27, 3 litre. Short chassis speed model with long stroke, 4-cylinder engine fitted with twin slopers and single overhead camshaft.
You know an awful lot about cars, don't you?
Oh, I'm mad about them.
Oh, it's called the Fast Lady. Is this the sort of car you had in mind for me?
Well, hardly. You have to be really with it to handle one of these things. No, what I mean to say is it's the last thing to have if you haven't learned to drive. Mind you, I'd adore to have it myself.
Hello. Aren't you going to introduce us, lover boy?
Oh, certainly. Miss Chingford, this is Mr. Fox.
How do you do?
How about a buzz around the houses, Miss Chingford? The old girl goes like a bomb. Finest car in our showrooms.
Well, it'll have to be quick. Dinner's at 8.
I'll have you back before the table's laid. Don't bother to wait, lover boy. If I may say so, Miss Shingers, you're one of the loveliest girls I've ever met. I don't know why it is, but I've always been mad about blondes.
Change down, brother.
No, I'm not kidding. The moment I first saw you, the old chemicals began to work. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Chemicals?
The old love glands, you know, when a chap looks across a crowded room, sees a beautiful stranger, they all start to bubble up and say, "This is it, Freddie. This is the real thing." Your chemicals saying anything to you? Eh?
Your mixture's too rich.
That's a pity. Well, in that case, perhaps I can interest you in buying this car.
Ah, you certainly could, if you could interest my father. But as he owns Alba Motors, I don't think that'll be very easy.
Alba Motors? What, the sports car people? Oh, that's interesting. You don't suppose you can get your father to give me the agency for Alba in this area, do you?
I don't think so. You're not his type either.
It's funny.
Mr. Troon, your supper's ready. Come along. Oh, you poor thing. You've been in the wars again.
Eh? Oh, aye. Did you enjoy your ride, Miss Chingford?
My car? Bye-bye, Freddie.
Bye, Claire.
Hello, darling. You can collect your bike anytime you like, Willie Wolf, but preferably when Daddy's out. He usually plays golf on Saturday afternoon.
What's all this Claire and Freddie business?
Well, don't be a square, you square. You can't go on calling a girl like that Miss Chingford forever, can you? Why, have you got your headlamps on her?
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
Oh, I just wondered. Between you and me, old man, I think she's got a bit of a shine on you.
Oh, man, don't be silly.
Well,
Did she say something about me, then?
rather. She never stopped talking about you. She seemed rather keen on you buying the fast lady. Don't know why.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh, don't think I'm going to fall for that one. Besides, I can't even drive.
Oh, you poor thing.
Come in.
There. I thought you'd like a nice glass of hot milk.
Oh, thank you very much, Mrs. Staggers.
Counting your money, Mr. Troon?
Aye, I'm not doing so badly, Mrs. S.
You wouldn't be thinking of getting married, would you?
Married? Oh, no. Don't think that marriage isn't on my agenda, Mrs. S., but, well, it's not the sort of thing a sensible chap rushes into, you know?
Quite right, Mr. Troon. Don't you be hasty. Sleep tight.
Because those green hills are not Highland hills or the Island hills, they're not Myland hills, and fair as these green foreign hills may be, they are not the hills of home.
Did you want something?
As you bust your bike, I wondered if you'd like a lift to work tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Pleasure, pleasure. I thought we could, I thought, do we have to have that ghastly program on?
Aye, we do. And it's not ghastly, it's the best program in English television. Oh, what's all this about a lift anyway?
Well, I thought we could drop in at the county hall and get a license.
Why, are you getting married?
No, not that sort of a license. I mean a provisional driving license. And you could take your first driving lesson tomorrow night.
Is it very expensive to learn to drive?
Now, if you went to the Kingscombe School in Pepper Road, the first lesson is free.
Is that so? Pepper Road, eh? Well, I'll think about it.
Yeah, you do that. A chap with your know-how shouldn't need more than one lesson. Cherry pie. Don't ever work your bagpipes, will you?
Get yourself a sports car.
Do you like sports cars, Ben?
I like the men who drive them. You old Willy Watt.
Laps completed, 3 to go on the 2.9-mile circuit here at Silverstone. And this critical race for this year's World Championship has developed into a titanic struggle between John Surtees, Graham Hill, and the brilliant young Scottish newcomer Murdoch True. This Troon is displaying tremendous courage and determination, because with the peculiar suspension on his car, he must realize that his tires are shot to ribbons. But with only 2 laps to go now, he's not letting up. He's staying right in there and fighting it out with the Masters. And now, as they come down into Woodcote Corner for the last time, it's Surtees, Hill and Troon, and I don't think there's anything Troon can do about it. But he's closing up on Graham Hill on the braking distance, and he's taking him on the inside, and he's got past him. And this isn't possible, but he's coming alongside Surtees, and he's getting past Surtees, and he's done it, and Troon wins by inches. What a brilliant victory for this young Scotsman. But now, the car suddenly swings across the road. He's lost it, and he's over. The car's turned over. I don't know what it was. I should think it must have been a tyre burst at over 120 miles an hour. But we'll send John Bolster down to investigate just as soon as possible.
Governor! Governor! Are you all right? Speak to me, Governor! Speak to me! I'm all right, Jack. Any last words, Troon?
I'm glad that I won. For Scotland.
Well, we were lucky to hear the words of a very gallant gentleman.
Governor.
Make way, please. Make way. Make way now.
Is he going to be all right, Doc?
I shall have to operate at once. Pass me me saw.
I don't need an anesthetic, Doc. Just give me a wee Willie walk.
Murdoch, darling.
7:30, Mr. True. Mr. True.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mrs. Staggers. I was having a lovely dream.
It's not like you to have those sort of dreams, Mr. True. You'd be better off having a cold bath.
Yes, madam. I fixed your test at Broadley Heath. Yes. Excuse me, madam. Would you mind taking a seat, sir? Thank you. Now, listen.
You're taking driving lessons, ma'am?
A bit more, but the
Let me tell you something. This is a very good school, you see. Excellent teachers. So far, I've only had 2 crashes.
Yes, madam. Oh, excuse me, madam. Slight emergency. I'll call you back. Good afternoon, sir. Ken Kingscombe at your service. Now, sir, if you will just fill in this form, I will arrange for your first free lesson. Now, were you planning a course of 12 or 24?
Well, I thought I'd just have the free lesson first to see how I got on.
I see. Yes, well, would you put your name and address here and just sign it at the bottom? Good, good. Now, if you'll just excuse me, sir, I'll see if the CDI can take you right away.
The CD what?
The CDI, the Chief Driving Instructor. I should like him personally to handle your initial run. I can't think what's happened to your instructor, Mr. Constantine.
Perhaps he's had another crash, huh?
Oh, very amusing. There's a tight-fisted Scot outside, only wants a free one. Now, you butter him up a bit, you might squeeze 6 out of him. Oh, you're in a bad way, Basil. Nerve not going, is it? I'll be all right. Right, good man. Good, good. Now then, Mr. Troon, this is our CDI, Major Wentworth.
How do you do? How'd you do? CDI is a very excellent motor teacher, you know. He gave me my first 20 lessons.
Follow me, Mr. Bloom. Just one word of warning before we start.
Yes?
Some people seem to develop a sort of power complex when they get behind a steering wheel.
Go on.
Oh, yes. They get selfish, arrogant, intolerant of criticism, even from their own instructors.
Oh, I know the type.
I sincerely hope that you will not be one of those.
You don't have to worry about that, Major. Intolerant of criticism. Dual controls, eh?
Just in case. Well, let's run through the controls, shall we?
It's just as well if you tell me which is the brake and which is the gear lever.
You're not serious. Well, this is the gear lever. That's the accelerator.
Hey, man, what is this? Another crash? Look.
3, look in the mirror. Now, why do we do that?
To make sure that the road is clear behind.
Hold on. 5, make the appropriate hand signal.
Like this.
Of all the brainless, four-eyed, dim-witted twerps, you take the whole bleeding cake.
Go and get...
Yeah, well, that's another golden rule. Anybody who shouts at you like that, keep calm. Oh, come on, then. What are you... I'm sorry, go on. 5, put your clutch out and engage the gear.
Yeah.
6, release your handbrake. 7, let your clutch in again, at the same time gently depressing the accelerator, and you move smoothly out into the road, right?
Well, it's an awful lot to remember, but I think I can manage it.
Well, let's have a shot at it then, shall we?
Yeah.
Now, what did we forget?
A bloody handbrake.
Shall we try it again, then? You put it on the wrong gear.
I know that, you damn fool. Why didn't you tell me?
I can't be expected to watch everything.
Well, you should do. You're supposed to be the instructor, aren't you?
Shall we try it again?
Aye. And let's get it right this time.
Man, this sure is a great day for crashes.
It's awfully easy, isn't it?
Not quite so fast.
I know what I'm doing. I'm a very good judge of distances. You weren't nervous, were you?
Not at all, not at all. You're exceeding the speed limit.
Well, who's to know? What's the matter with you? We're losing power.
Nothing the matter. I'm applying my brake.
I thought I was supposed to be driving this car.
You're supposed to be doing what I tell you.
I would have thought it was obvious that I had a natural aptitude for driving. I'm getting a bit fed up with your carping criticism. Oh, come on, make your mind up. Blasted cyclists. Come on, get a move on. Think you're on the road. aside. Let him pass.
Why should I?
I expect he's in a hurry.
We're all in a hurry.
Don't you ever teach your pupils to give hand signals?
Now then, don't you start picking on my pupil. He was entirely blameless.
That brainless idiot was never blameless.
It wasn't my fault. This old person walked right in front of me.
Don't you dare speak to me like that!
I quite agree with you, madam.
All you motorists are alike.
For all she cared, I might have been blinded for life. Is the bruise very bad?
I can't see anything, Mr. Troon.
Must be an internal wound.
You worried about your future, Fox?
Good Lord knows.
Well, I am. You haven't sold a car for 3 weeks.
What? It can't be as long as that. Oh, yes.
I'll give you a week. No sales, no job.
Well, there's nothing to worry about, sir. I'm pretty confident I can flog this old Sputnik here.
Said that a month ago.
I've got a real sucker this time.
How?
Yeah, and furthermore,
Yeah?
what would you say if I got this firm the agency for Alba Sports Cars?
What would I say?
Yeah.
I'd say, well done, partner.
Partner?
In the meantime, you're still on a week's notice. Don't forget that.
Do you want a word with me, Freddie?
Oh, yes. I've just been talking to Ken Kingscombe up at the driving school.
Oh?
Yes, he thinks you're a born driver. He reckons if you had a car of your own, you passed the test in a week.
Oh, you're just trying to get me into buying this.
What a rotten suggestion. Anyway, I couldn't, even if you wanted me to.
Oh? And why not?
Practically solar this afternoon. Title chap. Tell you what, though, there's a very nice little saloon car up at the showroom.
I'm not interested in saloons. What's he offered you for it?
Offer for what? Oh, this. Only £475.
£475? Pounds? That's an awful lot of money.
Well, as I always say, you can't take it with you. So you might as well drive it there.
Have you accepted his offer?
Yes, of course. Well, as good as. It's a giveaway at that price. A giveaway. I got bills here for £400 spent on the engine alone. And look at these tires. Marvellous. Marvellous. Have you ever seen leatherwork on a modern sports car like this? Never. As Claire Chinga said the other day, it's one of the most beautiful Bentleys ever made.
She said that to me, too.
Well, I better get back to the showrooms. That title chap is coming in to settle the deal. 7 o'clock.
If you were to get an immediate offer of 500, would you take it?
What? I couldn't do a thing like that. We car salesmen have a code of honor, you know.
Pity.
Mind you, if it was somebody I could trust, somebody who'd love, honor, and cherish the old girl. Oh, it's no good. I'm a sentimental old fool. I've no business in the motor trade. It's yours for £500. Credit or cash?
Oh, cash, naturally. I'm not paying out interest to any English moneylender.
Congratulations.
Oh, well, I haven't actually
What's
made...
more, I guarantee to teach you to driver. In next to no time, you'll be roaring up to Claire's house like a knight on a white charger.
Oh, a green charger.
Yes, exactly. Come on, let's go inside and settle this deal before I change my mind. That title chap is going to be furious.
Silly old fool. Never looks where he's going.
Doddering old nincompoop. thing yours?
No, sir. I don't own no bicycle. When I go shopping, I takes a number 16 bus from Myfield Road, then I changes over to number 23.
I do not care where or how you do your shopping. Who is the owner of this heap of junk? The next time you attempt to deceive your doting parent by concealing a bicycle under a piece of sacking, be so kind as to arrange that it does not become entangled in my rear bumper. To whom does the bicycle belong?
Oh, get with it, Daddy. You know perfectly well it belongs to Murdoch Pool. You ran it over with your mower, remember?
And now I run it over with my car.
Ooh, lucky Willie boy. You'll have to buy him a new bicycle.
I shall do nothing of the sort. It would be far more to the point if he were to remove himself entirely from the district.
What's he done now?
Not content with being a menace as a cyclist on the road, he's learning to drive a car. And whoever suggested he should so do ought to be stood up against a wall and shot.
Go ahead and shoot. It was me.
You know, I simply cannot understand why you encourage this haggis-headed half-wit. There are so many other pleasant young men to go around with.
I'm bored with all the boys that hang around me. I'd like Murdoch to take me out. I think he's a doll.
A doll?
Yes, he has such possibilities, especially in a kilt.
No, darling, I simply cannot allow you to go out with that clown. Claire, where are you going?
I'm going to give him back his bike. And I'll tell him who ran it over, so you better call your lawyers, just in case.
Check for me, logbook for you. You're now the proud owner of the Fast Lady. More sherry?
Oh, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers, Sterling. Cheers, Jack. Cheers.
Let's put our cards on the table. You want Claire Chingers? I want the agency for Alba Motors.
Yeah, but I don't see the connection.
Claire's old man owns Alba. A few words from you in Dad's little ear hole. Bob's your uncle.
Well, Bob's not going to be anybody's uncle. Mr. Chingford hates the sight of me, and vice versa.
All the more reason why you need my help.
I don't need help from anybody, thank you very much. Here! Take your hands off that car!
Hi, Willie Watt. I bought back your penny farthing. That's about all it's worth now.
Oh, it's Miss Chingford. What'll I do? What'll I say?
I don't need any help from anybody. Thank you very much.
All right, I'll make a deal with you. You help me, and I'll help you. Right, what do I do first? And hurry!
All right. Now go outside and say, Claire, you're one of the loveliest girls I've ever met. I don't know why it is, but... No, that won't do. They'll say, Claire, I've got a marvelous surprise for you. And she'll say, have you? And you'll say, yes. I've taken your advice, and I bought the Fast Lady.
And what'll she say?
Well, she'll say, bully for you, or words to that effect. After that, you've got it made. Come on, get with it.
Are you sure it'll work?
Of course it'll work. But just to make absolutely sure, swink. Gives a man-girl appeal.
Hello, Willie.
Oh, hi, Miss Chingford. Oh, let me.
Thank you.
Oh, dear. Oh, what a mess. Never mind. Claire, I've got a marvellous surprise for you.
Bully for you.
No, you've said that too soon. The fact is, I've taken your advice and bought the Fast Lady.
What? I don't believe it.
No, that's where you should have said bully for you.
You know, that's not the car for you. You'll never learn to drive it.
Oh, that's where you're wrong. I'll have this car mastered for the weekend.
Take it easy, Superman.
Hold this. When Murdoch Troon makes up his mind to do a thing, he does it. And to prove it, I'd be honoured if you could come for a drive with me on Saturday afternoon if you don't object to L plates.
In 5 days? Well, if you really can drive it, I'll risk it.
Fine. I'll pick you up at your place, eh?
Take it easy meanwhile. I'd hate to see it end up like that.
Well,
Did you get the green light?
there's only one small thing, though. I've got to learn to drive the fast lady by Saturday.
Saturday? you out of your tiny Scotch mind?
Have a guarantee, remember?
Now, look, I got important business every night this week.
No driving lessons, no deal.
Oh, very well. All right. My word is my bond. You ask anyone. Well, almost anyone. Get in.
These gears are a bit tricky.
Actually, you're rather rushing things, old man. Take it easy. We're not on the circuit, you know.
How much did you say she could do in third?
70. But you're not in third yet.
We are now.
Slow down, Murdoch. Traffic lights. Slow down!
Blast! He's got away.
The engine's packed up.
She stalled. You left her in gear.
Oh, I know.
When was it you were hoping to take Claire out?
Saturday. And if you're hoping for that agency from our old man, you'd better instruct me a bit better than you're doing at present.
Don't look now. There's a gendarme on our tail.
I'll shake him off.
Don't be a berg. Let him pass.
Oh, all right.
Why doesn't he pass? He's going to stick. Take a side turning and lose him.
Oh, right. I'll take him for surprise.
You call me a clown. You told me to turn into it. Pull into the side, please.
Call yourself an instructor. You tell me to do one thing, then when I do it...
Keep calm, for heaven's sake. Here comes the law.
What do you mean, keep calm? I'm the calmest person here.
And which one of you is the learner?
I am.
I'm sorry about this, Inspector. I'm a qualified driver, of course. And this gentleman's my pupil. Between you and me, when he saw you on his tail, he completely lost his head.
I did nothing of the sort. I knew perfectly well what I was doing.
You mean you deliberately went down this one-way street?
Now, don't you put words into my mouth. If you ask me, you'd be better off chasing bank robbers and sex maniacs rather than trying to catch out innocent motorists.
I see. May I see your driving license, please? Sir?
Certainly.
Oh, pick it up for him.
I'm sorry,
Well, that makes 3 offences so far. Failure to give proper hand signals, driving down a one-way street, and assaulting a police officer. You've been drinking.
I have nothing of the sort. Well, I've only had 1 glass of sherry.
Yeah, that's what they all say. But they don't usually try to cover it up with perfume.
Now, look here, officer.
Keep out of this, or have you been drinking too?
Certainly not. I'm a teetotaler.
Yes, well, get in the driving seat and follow me.
What's the idea?
You'll find out.
This is the police surgeon. Now, you're sure you don't wish me to call your own doctor to examine you?
I've told you at least 19 times that I'm not drunk, and I'm not calling out my own doctor in a wild goose chase.
Very well. Carry on, doctor. I'll be outside the door if you need me. Name?
Murdoch Troon.
Name?
Murdoch Troon.
When did you last take food or drink?
I had lunch at midday. Shepherd's pie, boiled potatoes, green peas and red cabbage, followed by a suet roll with treacle and a white coffee. The price was 5 shillings, and I paid for it with a lunch voucher.
And you still feel well?
Perfectly.
What is the day of the week and the time of the day?
If it's of any importance, it's the 23rd of June. And according to that clock on the wall, it's 2:15, but according to my watch, it's 8:55.
Add up these numbers. 7, 6, 14.
27.
Quite correct. All right, stand up.
You've been drinking whiskey.
I've only had 3. What's it got to do with you?
Say the Leith police dismisseth us.
Oh, the Leith police dismisses. The Leith police did... Look here, I'm asking the questions. I want you to put your arms down at your side, close your eyes, and touch the end of your nose.
You do it first.
No, very well. There you are, see? It's quite simple.
Anything else?
Yes. I want you to walk in a straight line along the edges of this carpet. So.
Anything else?
Sergeant? This man is as sober as I am. Good night.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, if you have no objection, I'll be on my way.
Oh, no, you won't. There's that little matter of assaulting a police officer in the execution of his duty.
Yeah, but that was an accident.
You can tell that to the chairman of the bench tomorrow morning.
Call Murdoch, Troon, and Frederick Fox.
Now, there's nothing to worry about. Look the old big straight in the eye, tell him the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And British justice will do the rest.
Present, Your Worship.
Murdoch Troon, do you plead guilty or not guilty?
If the police constable hadn't adopted an aggressive manner...
Plead guilty, be nice to him.
Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Oh, for heaven's sake, man, I'm trying to tell you, of all the impertinent, the unreasonable, the impossible constables that...
Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Me too. Definitely guilty.
You will be fined 25 guineas and 3 guineas costs.
25 guineas? Ha! You call this English justice, you old goat?
And a further 25 guineas for contempt of court.
Thank you very much, Your Worship.
As for you, Fox, your responsibility as driving instructor being correspondingly greater, You will be fined 30 guineas and pay 3 guineas costs.
Thank you, sir. I absolutely deserve it.
Your sandwiches are not tea, love.
Thank you, Mrs. S.
Doing your accounts again?
Aye, being an owner driver's more expensive than I anticipated. Road tax, £15, insurance, £39, second-hand motoring kit, £6. Legal proceedings, £55, 13 and 8pence.
You poor thing.
Oh, well, that's not all. I've only had the car 2 days and I've used 25 gallons of petrol.
I expect it sprung a leak. Anyway, you can't say I didn't warn you. Anything to do with Mr. Fox is sure to cause...
Sure to cause what, Mrs. S?
trouble, Mr. F.
Well, there's gratitude for you. Here I am, giving up a smashing party in Chiswick to go out onto a cold and windy airfield to make Murdoch into a budding Grand Prix winner, and all you can say is I caused trouble. Really, sometimes life is hardly worth living.
If you ask me, Mr. Troon would be far better off in bed with his Coco.
Oh? Who's his Coco? Oh, yes, of course. I see what you mean. Right, now let's try the next one. Lesson 4. A 3-point turn in a narrow road. This is the road here, between these oil drums. Now remember, you've got to get round in 3.
I know. Don't make such a fuss about a simple turn. Oh, you don't have to worry about this. I could back into there with my eyes closed.
Now just do a normal reverse into the garage. And imagine this is your own. Anchors away! It's just as well you haven't got a garage. No, you've got no control. Always turn into the skid and then just touch your brakes.
Well, that's what I was doing. Well, let me try again.
No, jump out, please. You've got no idea. I'll show you how it should be done. Hold that apple, will you? Shake him.
You know, for a moment there, I thought you'd lost control.
You know, Ma, you're one of the loveliest girls I've ever met. I don't know why it is, you know, but I've always been mad about brunettes. Especially when they turn up unexpectedly. You thought I got another girl here, didn't you? Hmm?
That's pretty, darling.
Naughty, naughty. You should know by now. Freddie Fox is a one-girl man.
What are you stopping for, Murdoch? I'm soaking wet, freezing cold, and it's away past my bedtime. We must endure these hardships. Another 24 laps, if you please.
24 laps should be enough, shouldn't it, my baby?
Sweet talk, Daddy. Aren't you going to play golf?
Cancelled it, my dear. More important things to do.
Oh, you know you always play golf on Saturdays. And you know the exercise is good for you. Besides, you're getting a terrific part.
I never do anything that's good for me. Furthermore, I have no intention of entering any beauty competition.
Ow!
money there, all right. Now, don't forget what I told you. Keep to the side roads, give her tea in Guildford, and take her to Frensham when it starts to get dark. It's all marked here on the map.
Are you absolutely sure it is a quiet spot?
Quiet? You can even hear the butterflies take off. Just the place for the old passion stakes, eh?
She's not that sort of a girl.
Pity. Well, I hope mine is. Well, she's bound to expect a bit of the old synchro meshing, surely. Well, kiss or two anyway, eh?
And when does the great lover expect me to start all this?
When the old moon comes out, the old nightingales begin to warble. Look into her eyes, breathe hotly down her neck, and then let Mother Nature take its course. There's nothing coarser than Mother Nature. Good luck. And if you get any time in between the old gear changes, you know, put in a good word for Freddie Fox. Move over, Grunhilda, baby. Dreamboat's firing on all cylinders. Come on.
I'm sorry, Miss Chingford, my foot slipped, but I don't know what's happened to your gardener.
Oh, he gets in everybody's way. Oh, thank goodness, I think he's all right. Wow.
Oh, well, I felt it was a special occasion.
You know, you look fabulous. Oh, look out.
This is the fourth occasion on which we've met. I intend it to be the last. Take this car off my lawn. And anyway, you've no right to be driving it without a qualified driver by your side.
I've only been left at the...
This is private property, and anyway, I'm a qualified driver. Murdoch's coming to take me for a drive, Daddy, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Oh, yes, there is. He happens to be the worst driver it's ever been my misfortune to encounter.
It might interest you to know that Murdoch learned to drive this car in less than a week. I think he's marvelous.
Red label?
Yeah, believed winner at Le Mans.
Nobody could learn to drive in a week in this car.
Murdoch did.
You keep out of this. I'd have you know, young man, that I'm a veteran motorist of 40 years standing. I've raced this type of car, both at Brooklands and Le Mans. If you can convince me that you can handle this car, even passably, I may allow you to take my daughter out this afternoon.
Challenge accepted.
Very good.
Don't worry, Claire, I'll show him.
You take him down a peg or two. Good luck, darling.
Which way?
It takes me exactly 42 minutes to reach Wilmington Golf Course from here. A novice should be able to do it in 55. That way.
Right. Shall we synchronize our watches?
Don't be infantile, boy. There's a clock on the dashboard.
Oh, so there is. Oh, my back tire's gone.
You have exactly 54 and a half minutes left.
You don't mean you're going to charge me time for changing my wheel?
Why not? The good motorist sees to it that his car is in all respects ready for the road and in perfect condition.
Oh.
As we're on a hill, I presume you have chopped up the other rear wheel.
Oh, where the hell does it go?
Why don't you see if it's got a left-hand thread? You'll save yourself a lot of time.
My wheel! Somebody's stolen my wheel!
It went that way. think you're playing at, you stupid idiot? The man's a maniac. I'm going to do something about this. Yes, I'm going to play what's his name.
Well, it's done.
You have 35 minutes left.
Something's gone wrong with the engine.
I should have thought it would have been obvious even to a novice that the car cannot move forwards unless both rear wheels are in contact with the ground. 28 minutes left.
Come on, come on.
Don't you blow your horn at me, you bloody road dog! Can't you see I'm stuck?
Well, push that thing to the side. Get your friends to help you.
What? With an 80-year-old mother, a wife who's expecting, and 3 little kids. It's people like you who started the war.
I'm not going to stand for that. You big bully.
How much time left?
15 minutes.
Well, we're doing over 90, so I think I can safely say that we'll make it.
As we've been going in the wrong direction for the last 3 miles, I think that's very unlikely.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
The good motorist travels at a speed at which he can see the signpost.
Something's gone wrong.
You've run out of petrol.
Oh, blast. We'll have to push it to the nearest petrol station.
We.
$22 gallons, please.
Yes, sir.
How much time left?
2 minutes. And as we still have 6 miles to go, I think we can take it that you have lost. Your driving is deplorable. Your road sense execrable, and your mechanical knowledge non-existent. I doubt if even a woman could drive worse.
If you think you're so marvellous, how about you driving me back in, shall we say, 35 minutes?
Certainly.
And if you don't make it, I can take Claire out as arranged.
Certainly. I should be delighted to give you a demonstration of how a car like this should be driven. And shall we say, 30 minutes? I presume you won't mind if I take a shortcut?
Do what you like, it's your 30 minutes.
What's the matter? I want to go that way. Wait.
Will all competitors please make sure you have reported to the scrutineers on that?
A good motorist knows when a hill climb is taking place.
The next group of cars will be starting the hill climb in about 15 minutes' time. Will you all make sure that you are ready? Number 6 is putting up a wonderful show, but he just didn't have the speed. His trying very hard. Perhaps you'll make it. Oh, no, bad luck. Number 6, 5 points only. Now let's see what Ken Longhurst and his local...
Fellows and novice, when fastest to go on slow and vice versa. I suppose you could have done it better. I could, and I will. Another shortcut.
No! Look what you've done! You've ruined my car!
Nonsense. These cars will stand up to anything. The whole point is it's going to take you a good hour to get out of here.
Me? Are you not going to help?
Why should I? I'm in no hurry. It's you that's taking out my daughter.
You mean that I've won?
Unfortunately, yes. I never go back on a bet.
You to turn up. You're only 3 hours late. Had a smashing afternoon watching Noddy on TV.
No, it's all right, Claire. I've won. And your father was a very good sport about it, too.
Well, if you're still thinking of taking me out, you can take that smug smile off your face and go and wash it. And your knees.
My knees? Oh, I see what you mean. Well, I just... yes. Oh, could you tell me where the little boy's room is, sir?
In the hall, first on the right.
Oh, first on the right.
You're not seriously still considering going out with that knobbly-kneed Scottish nationalist, are you?
Yes, and he's not got knobbly knees. Actually, they've got dimples on them. If you must know, I think he's got terrific guts, and I don't know, he's just different.
He has no road sense, no mechanical knowledge, and no money.
I don't care about that.
By no stretch of the imagination could he be considered good-looking, and he lacks charm to a remarkable degree.
Not to me, he doesn't.
Darling, you know I'm only thinking about you. You're all I've got left, and I don't want to see you making a fool of yourself.
I won't.
Well, if you insist, but I suggest that you're back by midnight.
Oh, you're a darling.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. He's making no progress at all. He hasn't got a clue.
Perhaps these old chemicals aren't going zoom, zoom, zoom. What's that?
Noise is off, Grunhilde, baby. Now keep very still. Absolutely still. All right? It should be filled with water, really. But I suppose gin will do.
Well, get on with it. We have been hanging around for hours doing nothing.
We'll rectify that. If you should hear a nightingale calling soulfully to its mate, don't get too excited. It's only me. Excuse me.
Do you have to do all this?
Grunhilde, my fascinating little Fräulein, you want to wear mink, don't you?
Do you agree with your father that I lack charm to a remarkable degree?
No, of course not. Otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Oh, that's very true.
Well, here goes.
Oh, listen! A nightingale!
Either. There's nothing like sounds of Mother Nature. And you agree that by no stretch of the imagination could I be called good-looking?
Oh, stop fishing for compliments and kiss me.
Kiss you?
Who said Scotsmen were cold?
Well, it wasn't it Abby Burns?
I won't need any nightingales. Je vous libre, my chérie.
What?
I'm not much good at foreign lingo. But not to worry. I'll get by in the common market. Kiss me, my liebe dich. Kiss me.
When are we going swimming?
Anytime you say, Liebchen baby. What say we skip convention and risk it in the old altogether, eh?
What is the old altogether?
You tell, shall I? Yeah? All right, then. 9.
Darling, what are you doing?
My foot's caught in the gear lever.
Come on.
I feel as if I were floating in air.
What time is it, darling?
It's early, it's early, it's early. Quiet, boy, quiet. We're standing in water. How on earth did we get here?
We must have rolled down the hill.
Well, what are we going to do?
We'll have to get out and push.
One, 2, 3, push!
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Water in the carburettor. It couldn't be helped.
Go to your room.
Anything you say, Putsy. Good night, Willie Ward. My darling. It wasn't his fault. He's a beautiful driver.
Did you?
No, I didn't. And I hope you noted what she said about my driving.
Only a woman blinded by infatuation could be guilty of such self-deception.
It might interest you to know that I intend to take my driving test immediately. And what's more, I'll bet you anything you like I'll pass it first go.
Done. And if you fail, will you give me your word never to see my daughter again?
What about if I pass?
The chances of that happening are so remote that I will willingly let you take her out whenever you so wish.
And let him marry her?
Mind your own business. And kindly remove your car, your fancy woman, and yourself from my property.
Road junction, footpath, traffic lights.
Road junction, footpath, traffic lights.
Hey, what's the idea? Why has he got 2 eggs when I've only got 1?
You are not taking a driving test today. He needs building up. Now, you're not to get yourself into a state, Mr. Trim.
That's quite right. There's no cause to get nervous. Everything's fixed. I spoke to that pal of mine whose cousin is one of the examiners.
I don't need any help from anyone to pass my test. Thank you.
I dare say. With so much at stake, we don't want to take any chances, do we?
Well, as long as it's all above board.
Well, of course it is. Mind you, it'll cost you a bottle of scotch on my pal, but that's a small price to pay for the woman you love. Now, here's the drill. When I drop you there, wait in the waiting room till a chap comes along with a large moustache. You know, one of those big, bushy, war surplus jobs. He's your man. So get up and wink at him.
Wink at him, eh?
Oh, my finger! I've been Mrs. Stargirls! Who has the finger?
Oh, you poor thing.
There it is. Will you be here when I come back?
Rather, planning a sort of surprise. Welcome committee for the conquering hero and all that jazz. England expects this day every Scotsman to do his duty. That's my boy.
Hey. You're a pupil from the very fine Kingscombe School of Motoring, ain't you?
Oh, yes, hello.
We meet before, sir.
Yes, that's right.
Your first test? My 7th. Very strict here, you know. Not allow a single mistake. And what do you think? Don't like crashes.
Is that why they failed you?
But only on 2 occasions. Last time they failed me for a most trifling matter.
Oh? What was that?
Lighting cigar. Apparently not permissible while overtaking bus.
Oh, well, that's one thing I won't do.
Miss Eldon, you'll come this way, please. You know, I was hoping to get the squadron leader myself. Very keen talker and cricket, that man. He was the one I had the crashes with, remember? Still, as long as I don't get Mr. Bodley.
What? Why, who's he?
An outstandingly disagreeable personage, that man. Don't like cricket, don't like calypsos. He don't like nothing. Morning, Mr. Bodley. Very fine day, sir, with excellent sun for taking test.
Mr. Murdoch Troon, please.
Man, this is my lucky day.
Which is your car? Did you drive it here yourself?
Aye.
And where is the qualified driver who accompanied you?
Oh, well, he's gone off now.
He should have remained in the car until I arrived. Very well, carry on.
If I make any mistakes with my gear changing, it's because I had a wee bit of an accident this morning.
You wish to cancel your test?
Oh, no, it's nothing at all, really.
Then why mention it? Proceed.
Can I get... Forgotten to switch on. Will I continue down the high street?
I'll tell you what to do and when to do it.
Thank you very much.
Pull in to the side of the road, if you please.
Oh, have you been taking the side, yes. Certainly, sir.
Yes, he's taking a test now. I thought it'd be a splendid idea if you were to come over and give him a bit of a cheer when he gets back. Oh, and why not bring your delightful father along, too?
Well, I'll do my best. But listen, Freddie, are you sure you'll pass? I thought they failed everybody the first time.
Not when the test is a pal of Freddie Fox.
Before I get you to start up again, I should like to ask you one or two questions.
Oh, this is where you're going. Oh, I've been looking forward to this. I think I can safely say that I know the highway code backwards.
Frontwards is quite sufficient. Perhaps you'll be good enough to enumerate 6 of the 8 occasions on which you do not overtake another car.
Let me see now. 1 at a pedestrian crossing. 2 at a road junction. 3, a humpback bridge. 4, a pedestrian crossing.
You've already said that.
Did I? Oh, well, 4 is a corner. 5, a humpback.
We've had that one, too.
Yes. 5. Oh, canoe. Where the road narrows. That's the 6.
On the contrary, it's only 5.
Oh yes. Sorry, I forgot. On the brow of a hill. Ask me another.
Now let's see you start up again on a hill. Supposing a heavily laden lorry were to come over the brow of the hill at high speed, what would you do?
Let me see now. What would I do? Well, the important thing would be to keep my head.
Take that filthy weed out of your mouth when you're talking to me.
You're absolutely right, sir. Filthy mug.
You and my daughter have lured me here by means of a trick, and thereby caused me to miss a most important engagement. The only reason I'm staying is in order to have the satisfaction of learning that Troon has failed his driving test.
Oh, look, there they are.
He's got the wrong examiner.
Yes, you, and step on it. Don't worry about the speed limit.
But officer,
You shut up. Get on with it.
Need your help, sir. Reverse.
Oh, we're going to.
Right, go on.
Don't bother about hand signals. Step on it. What about the highway code? Go to hell with the highway code.
fabulous, Murdoch. You're a credit to me. No examiner in his right mind could possibly fail him now, could he, sir?
Well? Come along, man.
As far as I'm concerned, he's disqualified for life!
Disqualified? Well, that's that then. Goodbye, Claire. Goodbye, Mr. Chingford.
No, Claire. I lost my bet with your father, and a tune never goes back on a bet.
Just a moment, young man. I decide who has won the bet. As a matter of fact, I very much doubt if I could have handled the fast lady better myself.
You're dead right, sir.
And just because this regulation-ridden, form-filling, pen-pushing nincompoop is unable to recognize a good driver when he sees one, you may now go out with murder whenever you wish.
And may I ask you to marry me?
Certainly. And if he says no, just come and tell me.
And from now on, I'm going to do the driving.
You forgot to put the handbrake off, darling. And when we get to the main road, don't forget to give the correct hand signal.
That's what I forgot, Willie Wood.
Excuse me, sir. Are you going back?
I am. Alone. Bearded snitch.
Could you give me a lift?
Jump in.
Oh, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. I got stranded. If I may say so, you're one of the loveliest girls I've ever met. I don't know why it is, but I've always been mad about
Hello there. How about that? How about that? Look at that glorious body. Look at those lines. In all my years of experience, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite so splendid. Let me show you some of her outstanding features. Excuse me. Now, there she is, the fast lady. Isn't she beautiful? As a matter of fact, I just sold her to a Murdoch troon. Nice chap. Bit of an idiot, though. He wanted her to impress his girlfriend. So I let him have her at a very fair price. 500. Well, a fella's got to live.
The Fast Lady. The hilarious adventures of a young man who dreamed romantic dreams about the girl he loved, but awoke to the stern realities of everyday life. He saw himself as a daredevil driver that no girl could resist. But first, he had to learn to drive a car.
Of all the brainless, four-eyed, dim-witty twerp, you take the old. Go and get...
Poor old Murdoch. How could he succeed with a beautiful girl when he wasn't even safe to drive a bicycle? James Robertson Justice as the girl's father, who was quite determined not to have Murdoch for a son-in-law.
My wheel! Somebody's stolen my wheel!
It went that way.
Leslie Phillips as the smooth motorcar salesman with an expert eye for all the models. From the open sports car to the comfortable luxury of the limousine. Stanley Baxter as Murdoch Troon, who didn't need L-plates for a lesson in love.
I feel as if I were floating in air.
Kathleen Harrison as Mrs. Staggers, also starring Julie Christie as Claire. The Fast Lady is riotous comedy entertainment for all men who love cars, and for all women who love men who love cars. But even if you hate cars, even if you hate people, you must take the love of your life to the laugh of your life.